forward 2. Now that there's a strong relationship between Tracy and Cottrell, this is when she teaches Cottrell an important sound. The sound of that whistle. To the animal, that whistle means good job. That means thank you. But how do they know that? Well, let's watch and listen. Tracy blows the whistle, followed by a head rub. Blows the whistle, followed by some food. Blows the whistle, and rubs the pectoral fins. By always following this whistle sound with something that Cottrell enjoys, it's not long until Cottrell knows that that whistle means good job. That it means thank you. The next game we teach the animals is a game called targeting. The object of the game is for Cottrell to touch her head to a target we provide. The first target we teach the animals is our hand. Tracy touches Cottrell's head, blows the whistle, followed by applause. Touches Cottrell's head, blows the whistle, followed by food. Touches Cottrell's head, blows the whistle, and a nice gentle dunk under the water. By now, Cottrell really enjoys having her head touched. This is where we can start to change up the rules of the game just a little bit. What do you think would happen if, rather than bringing that target to Cottrell, Tracy were to lift that target up and out of the water? Well, let's find out. Cottrell comes up to touch it. This is where we can start moving that target up, down, over to either side to different locations. We're not limited to using our hands alone. We can also introduce different objects like this red buoy on the end of a stick to act as an extension of that target. Keep your eyes on that targeting pole to see how it can be utilized throughout today's show. We can extend the rules in this game so far that Tracy doesn't even need to be the one providing the target. She gives the signal, that Cottrell understands to mean go find the target. Take a look on the island on the left where Samwise slaps the surface of the water with his targeting pole, and Cottrell comes over to touch that target in the new location. Of course, that whistle will get blown. Some more food is given before that signal is given again. Take a look on the island on the right where Tracy slaps the water so Cottrell can hear exactly where that target is. You can see how this simple head-touching game has now turned into a great way of asking dolphins to move around in different parts of the habitat. You just saw one method of training. You saw us teach the dolphins that targeting game. That's just one method. Another method involves just watching them at play. Because on their own, these animals are capable of all sorts of really fun behaviors. So just by watching them, it's possible that you could see a behavior like this on the left. Cree walking forward on her tail, or also on the left. A vocalization from TK. Or another behavior is if you look at the center of the habitat. A great way for Cottrell to stretch with his form on the right again. You might be able to faintly hear a vocalization from Piquet. Whether it be leaping out of the water or vocalizing, we don't have to show the dolphins how these things are done. But remember those whistles. Those whistles mean good job. Those whistles mean thank you. So just by watching these animals at play and blowing the whistle when we see these fun behaviors, that's our way of telling the dolphins they're doing a great job and we love what we see. Because of the relationship between the animals and the trainers, the more that the dolphins know they're doing things we enjoy seeing, the more and more they start to repeat those behaviors. From there, it's all just a matter of attaching a hand signal to go along with those behaviors and asking to see them at a certain time. What you're going to see next is how those whistles and signals come together. Take a look on the island on the left. Andrew's working with Cree. Andrew's going to give a signal asking Cree to leap up out of the water. What I want you guys to watch for is I want you to watch Andrew for the signal he gives and then listen when he blows that whistle. There's the signal. Now look towards the center. Can you guys hear the whistle? Maybe some of you guys can hear the whistle. The whistle came at the highest point of Cree's jump. By blowing the whistle in, that was Andrew's way of saying, we like it when you jump really high out of the water. Well, let's say Andrew were to blow the whistle at a slightly different point during that jump. Say when Cree made contact with the surface of the water, and there was a giant splash. If he blew the whistle then, that would be his way of saying, we don't like it when you make a giant splash. By telling Cree that we like it when she makes a giant splash, that's exactly how it's going to be possible to completely soak just these first 3 rows of the audience right here. And it's probably going to ruin your cameras and your cell phone. So I do apologize if you guys have those things with you today. But that is okay, because I'm totally kidding. I'm not actually going to be doing that, don't worry. That's just something in theory that we could do with those whistles and signals. We are going to change up the timing of the whistle just a little bit. So once again, I want you guys to watch for that signal and listen for that whistle. There's the signal towards the center. No whistle. Still no whistle. No whistle yet. There is the whistle. So Marie goes rushing back to see Andrew because she knows the game is over, and there he is waiting with lots of pieces of fish. I've been mentioning how important the relationship is between the animals and the trainers. Not only is it important to build that relationship, but also to nurture that relationship, make sure it continues to grow and thrive. And a great way of doing this is by entering the habitat itself. On the left, Gretchen, one of our trainers, is going to be entering the water to work with the dolphins from a much more intimate perspective. She's going to be working with the dolphins up much more closely. She's now in their habitat, in their home, working with them from a more eye-to-eye perspective. So I'm going to step back and let you enjoy watching Gretchen work with the Pacific white-sided dolphins from their world. Especially for getting right on in to that cool, crisp, refreshing 55-degree water. Gretchen couldn't bring food into that habitat with her, so she had to do other things to let the dolphins know they were doing a good job, whether it be playful splashing or playful scratching. And I'm sure you can see from the expression on Gretchen's face, the opportunity to work this closely with these incredible animals is a reward for our trainers as well. We are going to be moving on to a different species, however. And it sounds like that's the Dolphins giving me my cue. So let's have a round of applause for the Dolphins. One of the goals here at the Aquarium is to introduce you guys to a wide variety of different species. However, before we bring out the next species for you to meet, we're going to be asking the Dolphins to leave this pool in the center. The way we do that is through that targeting game. So now we're going to play that game in reverse. We're going to ask the Dolphins to go find targets, and those targets are going to be in another location. Once this move is complete, you guys are going to be able to meet some of Shed's beluga whales. Before we bring out the whales, we just really want to make sure that the Dolphins have moved to a separate habitat. Both the belugas and the dolphins are known to live in the Pacific Northwest. However, these mammals, they rely a lot on their social structure. Here at the aquarium, we keep the species separate because out in the wild, that's how these animals spend their time. Whereas all in one pool at the same time. That'd be totally okay. However, it might just be hard to keep their attention with their trainers as they see other animals kind of swimming around. So that's why they are in different habitats. You guys can also really help us out with this next bit of training when it comes to removing distracting elements, is that we do ask that everybody try to remain seated and you double check to make sure the flashes on your cameras are turned off. That's going to really help remove some of those distracting elements from the amphitheater. Belugas are highly intelligent animals and they're also very playful animals, so it's always pretty fun to bring them out into this center habitat. Our larger belugas, you can't really tell from the way our trainers are carrying their buckets of food out there, but some of our larger belugas eat over 60 pounds of food every single day. And there's multiple feeding sessions throughout the course of the day. So sometimes it's kind of hard to lift up those heavy buckets of food. You can see the belugas have made their way into the center habitat. And again, the trainers are going to blow their whistles, letting the belugas know it's time to get started, placing those shapes in the water. I've been talking about how we train the animals, so let's talk a little bit about why we train the animals. The ultimate goal being to provide all the animals here with the absolute best possible home. And a great way of ensuring that is by turning all sorts of different regular medical checkups, regular medical exams into fun games for the animals. Let's see some of those games being played. On the island in the back, Andrew has asked Ludovic just to lay out in front of him. This is a fun game for Ludovic. He enjoys that scratching, tickling, and massaging all along his back. And it's really helpful for Andrew because this is the position we would ask Ludovic to take if we were going to perform an ultrasound to get a good look inside of Ludovic. So it's helpful for both the animals and the trainers. On the island on the right, you'll also see Tracy asking Bella to lay out in front of her in a similar way. And now you'll notice our lucky guest Michael helping us out with this bit of training that I have a feeling Bella and Michael might not have ever met before. And even though our trainers work with the belugas every single day, and the belugas know what our trainers look like, there are times where we bring in a veterinarian, someone that the belugas might not have ever seen before. So all we're doing is giving Bella a new face to see by seeing Michael out here with our trainers. That trusting relationship is really what ensures that when Bella sees Michael, she knows it's just another fun game and a great way to get a head rub or a massage along her back. We're always trying to create a positive environment for the animals. And one of the best ways to maintain their health care is by having them take part in all of these different games. Everything that goes on here, like Andrew again in the back, working with Ludovic. Great way for Andrew to do a quick exam of the skin, just make sure that everything's looking okay. Also, by rotating around like that, sometimes we can get a good look at just a different perspective of the animal, see them from a slightly different angle, check their skin for any bumps or bruises or things like that. And on the right, Tracy can ask Bella to open up her mouth for a few moments, which is fun for our belugas because they enjoy that tongue tickle or that tongue scratch that they can get out of this game. And it's really helpful because Tracy can do a quick dental exam. Make sure that the teeth, tongue, and gums are all looking okay. There's all sorts of different games like this, and again, it's all for the animals, providing variety into their lives and stimulating them in that way, giving them things to do working with the trainers. We want the belugas to enjoy working with the trainers as much as they enjoy working with the belugas. Thank you very much for your help, Michael. We are going to be, again, moving on to a different species, but I believe there's a few things that our belugas would like to do to say goodbye. That's a vocalization over there on the right, and if you look in the center, a nice big splash from Miki, and not wanting to be outdone by her half-brother, here comes Bella right up